So I was very fortunate enough to be able to get the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War open beta. Bit bizarre they call it an open beta when you had to pre-order the game to access it, but it has been open for the last day or two. And when I checked, I had like 30 something hours left on it. So I thought, well, I'll just get some time into the game and see how I think about it, how I feel about it, and if it's a good COD. Because Modern Warfare 2019 was pretty great in my opinion. I have a bit of nostalgia for the launch period of that game for many reasons. Some of them unrelated to the game, but just that period before COVID hit. So you can tell I'm doing okay on my first match because this is before squad-based matchmaking. And yeah, like in Modern Warfare 2019, it's not squad-based, it's skill-based matchmaking. Skill-based matchmaking appears to be in the beta from what I saw anyway. And there was it was trending on Twitter anyway, so yeah, it's definitely a thing, unfortunately. But the cynic in me thinks that's just to, like, people say, oh, it's to keep the experience equal for everyone. But in my opinion, no, that's just to script it one way or another so everyone's KD's even and stuff like that, and you can't chill. That's my stance on it. And on top of that, it's all about scripting it almost. It's like the cynic and extra cynical in me anyway thinks it's going towards FIFA levels, but it's not that bad really. It can be annoying, but you just know that, hey, you'll have one bad game and then you have one alright game, usually anyway. But apparently it's worse on here, and given that I did actually pretty great midway through this game, and then did really shit for the next two games, I think, yeah, it's kind of worse than Modern Warfare. Because at least with Modern Warfare, I was able to get a couple of good games before things started to go really airy. But this game, I can say with confidence, is better than Black Ops 4 was. Because Black Ops 4, I don't know what was... Something just didn't feel right with Black Ops 4. That game is one of the weirdest Call of Duties I've ever played. It's the only Call of Duty I've played where I had to take time to get used to how the aiming down sights and all that worked. For some reason, it just didn't feel natural like it did in Modern Warfare 2019 or World War II. It just didn't feel quite right to me. And yeah, ultimately it affected my experience of it. And plus, at the time, it not having a campaign, which is still a contention point for me anyway, I still like my Call of Duties with campaigns. Plus the... just DLC, old model, things it was running on a bit of an outdated kind of idea, and Modern Warfare 2019 was really a massive refresh the series needed, in my opinion. And this seems to be going in that direction too, but with, a bit of Treyarch flavor. Although, isn't this, like, mostly Sledgehammer Raven until Treyarch took over and had to kind of complete it to, because Treyarch and... Well, not Treyarch, Sledgehammer and Raven were having issues? So in my opinion, this is like some weird hybrid of like a Treyarch and Sledgehammer game, although I'm not sure how true that really is, given how quick and how hard-working these developers usually are anyway, to get these games out on time every year. But yeah, generally the gameplay is more COD. It's definitely a step in the right direction, TLDR, better than Black Ops 4. It's kind of like, Modern Warfare and Black Ops 3, well, it's actually not a crossover, it's its own thing. But the gameplay is the slightly slower stuff that was in Black Ops 4, and the movement and the speed of Modern Warfare 2019. I also saw in some places that this game is significantly quicker than Modern Warfare 2019, and I don't see it. I think they're quite similar, actually. The customization is kind of cool, although if the beta is representative of final, I mean, let's be real here, it's kind of wrong for them to call it a beta when the game ships in 3 weeks, but if this is representative, it does seem to be a little on the lacking side, but I mean, that's what I thought of with Modern Warfare at first. With some guns anyway. Some of them just had unlocks for days, like the M4A1 that got up to level 71 before you maxed it out, and before you got through all the camo challenges. But I feel like there's a little bit less going on in this game. And the map design, I have to say, is good. The maps do feel a little on the big side, though, which is kind of a mark against it, especially on standard 6v6 modes, or capture... Well, I mean, on capture modes like this, it's not really an issue, because everyone kind of circulates around one area anyway, so I'm not fazed by that at all. But when it comes to TDM and stuff like that, which I didn't actually get to play, mind you, I could see that being a bit of a problem. But yeah, I generally like the longer time to kill in this, although it's still the whole thing of, you shoot someone first, you'll get them, usually applies here more so than in previous CODs anyway. But yeah, I haven't really got much else to say. Customization good, game runs well. This is on an Xbox One S that I have had some weird issues with the GPU with recently. I've been noticing a bit of graphical glitches with some games. Bit strange. Hopefully it's not terminal, it's just my Xbox being weird with the latest update or something like that. I'm really hoping it is. It's weird though, because this beta clocks in at around 20 gig, and I think there's only 4 or 5 maps. all of them of which were actually pretty good, by the way. It's not something I can say about Modern Warfare 2019 Piccadilly, because Piccadilly is a shit map. And there's like one or two others I'm thinking of that are utter garbage, but at least there's a lot of maps in Modern Warfare 2019. Here, on the other hand, it might be not as much, as far as I can tell. But at least they're going in that similar model to what the Modern Warfare 2019 went into. Because as I said before, that was just such a breath of fresh air that it needed, that series just needed at this point. And I feel like because of that and Ground War and some of the more open modes in the recent 2 Call of Duty entries, I'm including this in the recent 1 and 2, Modern Warfare recent 2. Anyway, I feel like the ground it's taken has made it feel like in some cases you've kind of got, if you want a Battlefield-like experience, you can just go to Ground War. And I'm really beginning to appreciate that in these games in general. I forgot to mention how the guns are. The gunplay in this is actually really good. Like, again, I'm fond of Modern Warfare. The no gun, at least now, seems too overpowered. It was bad at launch. Some guns got really good, then some guns got better than others, stuff like that. And here, I mean, SMGs are king. But if you're good enough and you're on a low enough SBMM map-based match, you'll prevail with, assault rifles and stuff like that. As you can see here, I'm using an assault rifle, and it's fine, it's fun. I got like player of the match for that somehow, but yeah, I've really got not much else to say really, other than it's another Call of Duty. I'm gonna pick it up because I'm enjoying it, and my friends pick these games up, and because they're crossplay, we don't have to worry about picking a certain platform anymore. Not like that was an issue until a couple of my friends last year bought Modern Warfare 2019 on PS4, but that actually barely changed much because I have a PlayStation 4 and was able to join their party and still have a good time. And because a certain Sony is just so far behind the curve when it comes to accessibility with parties and stuff like that outside of the PlayStation ecosystem, I have to have the console on. You see, because at least with Xbox, you can just load up the Xbox app and just join a party from there, right? It's happened before. It's shit. These guys have been playing on PS4. They've done that, and it works fine most of the time. Sometimes there's bugs, but recently they've been actually pretty good, a pretty smooth experience. But Sony doesn't even have that, and for some reason, the main PlayStation stuff and the PS Messages app is separate. Can I just take a moment to talk about next gen real quick? That PS5, man, that's PS5. The more I think about what they're doing with the PlayStation 5, the more I go, okay, it's a step in the right direction, but man, they had a good thing going with the PS4, and I feel like they're taking one step forward, 2 steps back. Whereas at the Series X, they're going, you know what, just go all out. I feel like the Series X has been an engineering marvel from a size and power standpoint. And on top of that, your Xbox One controllers work, which I have plenty of from years of getting them. And it's just, everything will just work. It's just a sense of like, you'll just get into it and it'll be like business as usual. Kind of like when I moved from my original Xbox One to my Xbox One S. Business as usual, no problems. It was bliss, and yeah, it's just a shame that Sony kind of is just trying to kind of gatekeep onto that whole restrictive generations thing, unlike what Microsoft is doing. But the at least there's like Gran Turismo 7, stuff like that. There's a couple of exclusives I'm keen on for PS5, but some of them are coming to PS4, so at least I've got a bit more life out of my PS4 anyway. I'm not going to sell it anyway, but because I want to keep using it. And I want to use the controllers and stuff like that because the PS4 controllers aren't compatible for some reason. But anyway, it's okay. Right, let's get back to this game real quick. So, TLDR, Black Ops Cold War is another Call of Duty. Except this time it's a weird flare. I have to mention the aesthetic is pretty cool actually. Visually, it does seem to hold up a bit better than Modern Warfare 2019, I gotta admit. Looking through these clips now, the game seems to run at a higher res. Things run slightly smoother too. Modern Warfare 2019 on an Xbox One just barely felt like it was being held together. Like the whole game just felt like if they added one more thing to it that was like graphically intensive, the whole console would just explode. So at least that you don't get that feeling here. But there'll probably be a battle royale mode in this or something like there was with Modern Warfare. Who knows? Who knows what this game will be like? I reckon my opinion will probably tilt towards negative because, I mean, Treyarch games have been more divisive for me than Infinity Ward games or Sledgehammer games for that matter. But yeah, you can definitely tell that was squad-based, skill-based matchmaking taking its play there, or me just being actually pretty decent at the game. I have no idea. That's the one thing I hate about that, seriously, is that you can't tell if you're good at the game or not. I mean, you had someone take me out pretty nicely there like that, but then you just absolutely slaughter people and you go, This is a fair matchup. Oh well, that's the end of my incoherent ramble that is usually my videos. If you've gotten to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. This is Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War open beta on the Xbox One S. The beta's only available for about 24 more hours, so unless you have like lightning quick internet, I wouldn't bother downloading it. And you do get bonuses if you get up to level 10, which is kind of cool. But yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for watching, and see you later.